Hey yo, do not attempt to adjust your dial. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. This is App Stupid, the fastest growing sports and entertainment show on these YouTube streets. You're welcome. Holla at us. Big Vern getting busy in the building. Shout out to us. Busy Monday here at App Stupid Studios. High today is going to be 76 here in the Midwest, calling for showers and storms. So if you got to get your pets out, get them out early while it's nice and dry, and get them back in before the storms show up. Our first segment, we talked about Keyshawn Davis, the businessman. He made a poor business decision and the ripple effect. And he pretty much ruined a great weekend for American boxing as a whole. So yeah, check that segment out. Then we pivoted. We talked some university scandal, the University of Indiana and Dr. Bomba. There is just a heartbreaking, sad turn of events. Our heart and prayers go out to the young men involved in that unfortunate situation. Going to go back to the National Football League and we just asked the question, are the Pittsburgh Steelers really serious about winning this year? I always wondered with Steeler fandom, you all have been patient for so long, but really at some point, are you serious about winning? I mean, you won the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. Congratulations, because nobody else wanted him. Yeah, nobody else wanted him. The whole, I don't know if I'm going to retire. You knew you were not going to retire. That was a story that the media had drummed up. That was something that was floated to make you seem like you're more than what you were. Because I knew you wasn't going to retire when you were begging the Jets to stay in the Meadowlands before they waived you. Yeah, that's a thing. You wanted to stay. So someone who wants to stay with an organization, someone who wants to be a part of an organization, they're not going to retire. You had no offers. The media was trying to put you with the Vikings. The Vikings was like, oh, hell no. We don't want him because we have eyes. And then it became this whole Pittsburgh, I don't know what I'm going to do, but you guys, you all need to go ahead and make any decisions you need to. What? And he punked Pittsburgh because that's all they were doing was saying, okay, we're not going to wait forever. Then they proceeded to wait forever. That's how trash that was. So now you're caught up on this. It's a 42-year-old coach killer, a 42-year-old awful locker room guy. He's considerably slower than he was 2 years ago. And after the lower leg injury, his decision-making skills are shoddy. In the pocket at best. His arm strength is weak. And like I said, he's not better than he was 2 years ago. And hell, I'll shoot for the last 5 years. But somehow, this is the crown jewel of the black and yellow regime. Come on, man. The Steelers took a guy nobody wanted. In fact, I tell you, nobody wanted him because that wasn't a public or a private bidding war for his services. Since 2004 to 2021, the Steelers held on to Big Ben, no matter how bad it looked. His QBR in his last year with the Steelers was a measly 43%. Mason Rudolph was drafted in 2019. He didn't leave the Steel City until 2023, a lifetime backup who only played 4 games that year. His weak ass only had 719 yards on the season. I can't make this up. Playing behind Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky, aka human oatmeal and shoulder pads. So they've had poor quarterback play for the last 6 years. So I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade. Because at times, Russell Wilson looked really good. Justin Fields looked really good, winning some games. But it was just like, okay, insert a guy who was stat stuffing last year, played on a Jets team that's awful. And this is what we're riding for. Tell you what, Give me a quick 20. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and get into the offensive rank of the Steelers last year. You're going to get a kick out of this. Give me a beat. Ba-bum, ba-bum. It's your boy, Big Vern, coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios with another rap album. Balance by Master Killer, Wu-Tang Killer Bees. In stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Eagle's Claw with Master Killer, Raekwon, and Capadonna. Building with the Abbott, aka the RZA. Glad to Meet You is probably the song of the summer. If you listen to Glad to Meet You with Method Man and Snoop, that's probably one of the hottest tracks I've heard to date. Like, it give you that old Wu feeling. Like, you just, man, that nice to meet. Look, trust me, go get it. Then Trumpets with Nori, AZ, and Uncle Murder. Master Killer, Balance, in stores now. Shout out to Master Killer. I thought the album was dope. So make sure you go ahead and rock with that. We last left off, we talked about the offensive rank of the Steelers in 2024. Last year, out of 32 teams in passing offense, the Steelers were ranked 26th. Total offense overall was 24, averaging just 192 passing yards a game. That's horrid. Now that's repugnant. That's inexcusable, considering you had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields playing. The rushing attack was 11th overall, averaging 127 yards per game. They gave up a whopping 59 sacks last year because the O-line was a dumpster fire, ranked 20th in the NFL. They finished with a 10-7 record and received an invitation and a wild card to go to Buffalo and get their heads kicked in. So they've been bad for the last 6 years. However, knowing all of that, how does Aaron Rodgers help that? Yeah, knowing all of that, how does Aaron Rodgers fix that? Are we just being silly here? You're not serious about winning games. Everyone who comes to Heinz Stadium, they should actually get in for free because you're practicing football at this point. Practice. Not a game, practice. Defense has always been a calling card of the Steelers. 10th ranked defense in the league, allowing an average of 326 yards per game. 10th in success rate on defense in the league, averaging 44%. 25th against the pass. The Steelers allowed a league high of 124.1 yards per game to wide receivers. They also couldn't stop tight ends, surrendering 106 catches on the year. That's a league high, folks. So, who's coming in 2025 to help us with all of this? Who's coming in 2025 to help the Pittsburgh Steelers with all of this? Let's look at free agency, shall we? Yes, we shall, Vern. Defensive tackle Daniel Ikule, cornerback Brandon Echols. They re-signed both wide receivers Ben Skronecki and Scott Miller. They re-signed defensive end Isaiah Loudermilk, running back Kenneth Gainwell, linebacker Malik Harrison, defensive lineman Ezi Otowo. The Steelers, outside of Aaron Rodgers, didn't do much in the offseason, but feast on non-drafted rookies. They couldn't have lost players in free agent, could they? They couldn't have lost anybody in free agency because they cleaned up, signing guys who didn't get drafted. And none of those names, I know Kenneth, I think that when I look at the list of names, Kenneth Gainwell, that stands out. Everybody else is kind of like, who? What'd that guy do? Is he an Uber driver? I have no idea. Who left them in free agency? Because that was another question. Remember when they had that 10th rushing attack in the league? That was Najee Harris. And Najee Harris is gone. Yep, free agency. He had 263 attempts for 1,043 yards on the season with 6 touchdowns. Now, what if I told you since he got into the league, he's put up 1,000+ yards a game, going all the way back to 2021. They lost linebacker Eldon Roberts. The cat who was hella active on combo tackles, and he was good for at least a sack a game. I'm not a hater. I give credit where credit is due. I also give you shit when you do dumb shit, you know. You post a pivotal, like I said, you went after Aaron Rodgers, and I didn't think that you needed him. You're not expected to win a Super Bowl anytime soon just because you have DK Metcalf. Okay, I think that you should have gave Will Howard, you should have gave him keys to the kingdom and let him run wild. Aaron Rodgers is not going to help with the maturation of Will Howard. He's not going to help with that whatsoever. And that's not fair to Aaron Rodgers, which he's 42 years old, because you haven't addressed anything on that O-line. Because if you gave up 56 last year, I don't think that you got the personnel to protect him this year. And the AFC North is not a place where you need a bad O-line. You need protection. You need protection in the surest way. Cleveland, they have a really good defense. Baltimore, the reigning and defending AFC North champions, they have an extreme defense, and they've added weaponry to come after you and crush your head. Hell, Cincinnati, you all split the regular season with Cincinnati going 1-1. And so I don't think that it's fair to unleash Aaron Rodgers into that. Now, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers supporter, but I am the mayor of fair. I don't want to see him get hurt. So, yeah. So, like I said, the Steelers lost a lot of talent. They had 7 picks in the draft. They got defensive tackle Derek Harmon, running back Caleb Johnson from Iowa, the edge rusher Jack Sawyer out of the Ohio State, defensive tackle Yaya Black out of Iowa, quarterback Will Howard, linebacker Carson Bruner out of Washington, Dante Kent, cornerback from Central Michigan. Is this enough to turn a team around? It looks like a solid rebuild, and if it's considered a rebuild, then the QB position shouldn't matter. Based on what you picked up in the draft, that looks like you're planning for the future. So getting Aaron Rodgers or not getting Aaron Rodgers wouldn't make a difference. That's why I said Pittsburgh isn't serious about winning anything. Signing Aaron Rodgers, a guy nobody wanted, like I said, to me, it shows me you're waving the white flag before the season starts. Too many new guys in too many positions. Not enough stalwart guys came in free agency to kind of bolster the roster out. Pittsburgh is a notoriously cheap outfit. They stay under the cap, and they boast that, oh yeah, we do right by our cap money. We were able to go out and get DK Metcalf. So it don't mean a hill of beans if you can't throw him the ball. DK is not going to throw himself the ball. And I don't know what Aaron Rodgers fantasy that you all are living in where he's going to recreate the wheel. He's not throwing to Jordy Nelson. He had Avante Adams in New York. What did that produce? Nothing but a headache. He had his offensive coordinator from when he actually won the MVPs back-to-back in 2020 and 2019. So knowing that, what is any of that produced? He got that guy's play calling script. They got the head coach fired. Is this a Trojan horse to get Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh? And are they going to use Aaron Rodgers to do it? I don't know. But that would be the only thing that I can surmise why you would go after a guy nobody wanted. I repeat, nobody wanted. The Jets didn't want him there. He begged and pleaded he wanted to stay. He wasn't going to retire. Again, he wanted to stay in New York because he thought he was a kingmaker. Think again. Think again. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, you know the drill. Again, if you are listening to this pod, get in the comments. Let us know, did we get it right? What did we leave out? This is Big Vern. We talk back. We'll be back. Top of the hour. This is your boy Big Vern at App Studio.